book on addiction, and it mentioned the food addiction is the hardest to break. And if you can just give us few tips, how do we break out of addiction?
Food addiction in particular. Yeah, because those other addictions are not my field for sure. Except food. But food I can definitely talk about. See, first and foremost, the awareness or the knowledge. Because unless you know what you're doing, what harm it is doing to you, you will not have that resolve. You will not listen to someone who is telling you, don't eat this bad for you. No, it doesn't work like that. Don't eat because it could lead to depression. More, besides the weight gain, might work better. So first is knowledge. You need to be self-aware. You need to know the food that you are abusing, what it is doing inside your body. It could be sugar, it could be salt, it could be processed food, so a lot of additives, preservatives, everything. Nitrite, people say that I am only having full cuts, for example, of non-vegetarian food. So that is very low calories, great for me. But the moment I tell somebody that the amount of full cuts you're eating is giving you so many nitrites, it has been proven to be carcinogenic. I mean, you have to see their faces. So first is knowledge. Unless you give knowledge to people, nothing is going to work, because willpower is overrated. It is just completely overrated. Doesn't work like that. You need knowledge. Second, do not say no, because I have never seen that work. You tell somebody this is out of bounds, that is all that person would think of. I tell my client no cake, that's all they eat. Really. So no doesn't work at all. Portion control, moderation. Moderation is literally a weight loss as well as good eating mantra. If you can master moderation, you don't need any other food. So do go out and eat, but decide, you have rules, maybe like once a month, twice a month, then portion sizes, how much to eat. Also, in junk food, if I may say, so there are categories. Choose the least offensive ones. If you can, do not supersize. We are becoming a nation of gluttons. We are supersizing everything just because the large Coke is only $10 extra. It's not the $10 extra which is going to matter. It's the cost to your health eventually which is going to matter. So we need to understand that, like I always like to say, it's your body, So is the junk food worth it? Because there's enough research about depression. There's enough research, in fact, that it cuts your longevity. It cuts your, age. Is it really worth it? So those are the questions you need to ask. No easy answers. Sorry. You need to work on this.
Very insightful, I would say. Previously, you also spoke about calming effect of food. That brings me to comfort food. We all have comfort food. So, what do you think, how the idea of comfort food has changed over the time?
Yeah. So, comfort food, food and memory are entwined. We grew up with food memories. So if we grow up with good food memories, they stay with us. So if we grow up with good comfort food rituals, those are the foods we're going to go to in times of duress, in times of nostalgia, in times of happiness. So it's very important to make good comfort food memories. I tell every single patient of mine that make sure that in your own home there are comfort food rituals that are good, so that your child eventually 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line goes to these foods in the times of stress. Because stress is the only thing which is certain. It is going to happen. You cannot save your child or yourself, or you can't wish it away. So those times are going to happen, they are going to come, and we will reach for food. Because when we are children, for the longest years, longest time, it's the food which gives us comfort. as children, the only thing we crave for is food, right? So those memories are hardwired. So it's very important to create the right food comfort value. So everyone has now again comfort food is a very very big topic. I'll tell you there are two kinds of comfort food. Like I said, calming foods. There are foods which physiologically work on your in your body, on your brain, because they lead to release of certain neurochemicals that calm you down, right? For example, like I mentioned, the Loki and the Tori, there's turmeric. There's enough research now. We all know that it is immunity boosting, it's anti-inflammatory, it does a lot of things, boosts our memory and everything. Turmeric is also happy food because it works in the same part of the brain as the memory, which is also connected to calming you and keeping you happy. So this is one kind of a comfort food where the food is working physiologically in your body and calming you down. But the other common type of comfort food is the food which we have a memory with, what you grew up with. If you as a child would eat, like maybe say kheer at home when you were upset, or kheer was always made in your house at important occasions when you got good marks or whatever, so that can become your comfort food. So both ways, whether psychologically or physiologically, comfort foods work differently. But you'll be very surprised to know, in fact I've written this in my book Ultimate Grandmother Hack, the second book of mine, that somehow our parents, our grandparents, fed us food which became our comfort food, which science now today is proving as physiologically also comfort. For example, kheer. I don't know how they knew, maybe by observation or by common sense or logic, but kheer science tells us today is a combination of protein and rice, which is the best possible combination for your brain to get up high and feel good. When we used to go for our exams, we would be given chini. Again, it's the same thing. The sugar gives us a little high and energy, and curd calms us, so we are able to give the exams better. So, when both emotion and science come together for a comfort food, that comfort food is perfect. But again, like I say, it doesn't matter if your comfort food is rasgulla. You need to know how much of it to have. For example, when I was growing up, he was not made every day. He was made for special occasions. So we learned to, respect those boundaries. We knew we would get kheer on special occasions and we'll get one kachori. Today, every single day, your child is upset, you order in a pizza. Your child got good marks, you order in something, you order a tub of ice cream, or you take the child out for a popcorn. So there is no healthy setting of comfort food boundaries today. So there is no harm in eating comfort food. It does not come in the comfort food family do not come under the emotional abuse umbrella, as long as you know how to use them smartly. Because food can be a wonderful tool for psychological, like obviously calming and making us happy benefits, for social benefits, when you sit together and enjoy a meal that is a comfort food for the family, it's a big social bonding time. So using the comfort food in the smart ways and using the right foods and right ingredients by combining the knowledge that science has given us. Science tells us like turmeric is great for us, chickpeas is a happy food, goats are a happy food. So all these and making rituals wherein in happy occasions or in stressful occasions, those are the foods that we serve and make at home. I think comfort food can be used as a wonderful tool to keep people happy and keep depression away.
Thank you. So So that brings me to the conclusion that comfort food has a lot to do with our experiences in childhood. And so I think we all, since we are about or are raising kids, we should be very mindful about what comfort food to be offered to them.
Yeah. So for that, you need to serve as a role model. You can't be ordering a pizza yourself and expecting a child to eat dahi chawal, as a comfort food. And dahi chawal will frankly make the child physiologically happier. Because it will lead to release of, neurotransmitters which will calm down the child and make the child happy. Why is khichdi such a comfort food? Why do we eat it in times of sickness? And or chicken soup for that matter? There are memories attached. Maybe when you were a child and you were unwell and you were getting khichdi. Or your grandmother used to make a lovely chicken soup and that's what you need when you're sick today as well. Give that to your children. We aren't doing that and we're doing a huge disservice. We're growing them up on a staple diet of junk food, which is becoming their go-to comfort food. I mean, those movies where they show that you're stressed and you're eating a tub of ice cream are doing the biggest disservice possible. Because that ice cream is not making you happy. It's just giving you that temporary 10-minute fix and you'll be sadder by the end of it. So making your child learn the right comfort food rules is the biggest, service you can do to your child, and I don't see that happening in a single household. Maybe a couple of people can share their comfort food. I'll go first. I had that today as well. I just love ajwain namak ka roti with, a nimbu ka chart. A particular nimbu ka chart, which is made by my mom. I haven't yet learned time to make it, but I should. So that always comes me. Maybe you can share your comfort food.
I think mine would be pudina poha.
You poha, lovely poha and put it. You put pudina in the poha, lovely. Anybody who would love to share their comfort food.
Moongi ki dal chira.
So lovely. Yeah. You are supremely healthy. Yes. Dal chawal. That I think for a lot of people, we travel, we come back and we want to eat dal chawal. It could be anything for anybody, And maybe people are being polite here and not telling me that it's darkest. Comfort, we do have to tell me. Her comfort food.
My comfort food is khichdi.
Oh, lovely.
Momo.
Yeah, so we're getting there. Someone else would like to maybe this side of this.
I have Maggi. On the other hand, I also like South Indian.
So you like idli and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Maggi.
Yeah, so this Maggi nonsense again. Sorry. I was waiting for someone to say that. Sorry, but I was just waiting for someone to pound for you.
What about Atta Maggi?
So you know what? Okay, so each man, if you read the label, after the atta, and atta is a small percentage, the rest is still maida, by the way. There are like 10 other ingredients, colors, additives,
Yeah.
a whole lot of other lists, which is directly bad for your brain. Please, of all the people, not you.
No, I'm asking this
She's asking.
because I feel it's being promoted
Yes.
as an alternative.
Yes. So that anything that comes out of a packet, let that be a once in a while treat. So it's very important to distinguish between comfort and treat. Your treats can't be your comfort food. You should distinguish that and you should teach your children the distinction. Maggie can be a treat. Once in a while if your child really wants it. Or you really want it. What child? I think we're all children in the heart. So anything which is not good for you, for your health, for your physical health, cannot be good for your mental health. So Maggie, obviously, it's a very simple way to identify. Whether it is Atta Maggi or it is regular Maggi. In fact, I would say that if a regular Maggi gives you satisfaction and you get satisfied after eating it once and you can stay away from it for like next 3 months, better have the regular Maggi rather than eat the atta Maggi and then the next day eat the regular Maggi. You know, because obviously the wheat Maggi did not satisfy.
Yeah, thank you. That brings me to the question of fat diet. What do you think, how do they affect our like keto diet or low carb diet? Every 15 days, 20 days, there's a new diet out there. So how do we deal with all of that information?
Okay, so I have an analogy in my first book where I say that you need to go and find the highest window you can find and go and drop the word diet from there so that it just breaks into pieces and it goes out of your life. Because diet is not a four-letter word. Diet does not, and I say this in every talk of mine because I love food. Diet does not mean not eating. When did we even move to that? Diet means eating. What is your diet? It's what you're eating. It's not what diet are you on. You know, the moment the switch happened and then we messed up. Literally. Seriously. Yeah. My books are called Old Diet because of that. Simple. Because the fact is that what you eat is what matters. Asking somebody to remove something from the diet, that's where the story starts getting messed up. Just where. If there's anything clear in nutrition is a very nascent science. Every day we are discovering something new, every single day. What I know today will be obsolete maybe I won't say a week, but maybe like a year. It will be obsolete because every day we're discovering something. So, but the rule that has stood the test of time, even after 5 decades, is that we need all the major food groups in our body. Because the researchers got that right. Otherwise, egg is good one day, egg is bad the next day. Fat is good for us, fat is bad for us, you know. So all that keeps changing, but the only rule that you need to follow, one is moderation, like I mentioned, and the second is that you cannot remove any food group. By food groups, I mean fat, so good fat, fiber, protein, carbohydrates. Yes, I mean such a band, much in the word, but should not be. Because we are talking mental health. So fat diet, by the way, our diet, that most of the fat diets will ask you to remove one of these from your diet. Only then that is how they create calorie deficit. But they are not needed because calorie deficit can be created even by eating everything, right? So stay away from fat diet. Easy way to identify is if it is asking you to remove any one food group, it's a fat diet. FAD is a fat 4-letter word. DIT is not. So stay away from them because they're just not worth it. You might, and again with a big might, lose a little weight, but you will gain back more. Promise. Take it right away from me. If you lose 2 kilos by starving, by giving up something that your body needs, you will end up with a lot of health issues. And whatever little weight you lost, you're going to gain back more. More than double will come back, I can tell you that. And in terms of mental health, since we are talking about that, and we are talking about diets that remove carbohydrates in particular from our diet, there's a term called hangry. Hungry plus angry. It's an accepted term now, ma'am, in your
It's
science.
recently been talked about.
Yeah, but it should be like, spoken about more often. You remove carbohydrates from your diet. Easiest way to identify somebody on a keto diet. Anybody? They're always stressed, they're always angry. They fly off, and there's a reason for it. It's not their fault. You need carbohydrates to stay calm. You need carbohydrates not just for energy. The protein that you're eating will not reach your brain to form serotonin unless you combine a carbohydrate with it. Why do you think I love to give, and I do, dal chawal or khichdi for dinner? Whereas people say do not eat rice for dinner or carbohydrates for dinner. Because you sleep better you are happier. This combination is giving you both protein and carbs, and that is only way serotonin, which is the compound that keeps us happy, is even formed in our brain. So removing carbohydrates completely from the diet will not give you weight loss, might, maybe a little bit, but it will come back. Might lead to health issues, gut issues, and gut issues are directly, when you remove carbohydrates, you're removing fiber along with it. And when you remove fiber from your diet, your gut goes ballistic, and that's the first tenet of Ayurveda, that you need to eat a diet that is good for the gut to keep diseases away. And I can add here very confidently to keep mental health issues away. Because the gut is where 95% of serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is made. If your gut is messed up, just because you wanted to lose 2 kilos or 5 or 10 kilos for a particular wedding that you wanted to attend, or a beach holiday you wanted to go to, you are messing up your mental health completely. So your gut is what decides your mental health. The fiber in your diet and carbohydrates in your diet keeps your gut healthy. So you need to rebalance. I'm not saying just eat carbohydrates in every meal, but you need to you need to balance all important food groups. Very, very important.
Thank you, Kavita. So one big message is that eat right. Don't fall for fat diets.
Often repeated, nobody listens.
Alright, so Kavita, I won't hog you more. I think people are really excited to pose more queries, so we will open up for questions now. Sure.
How to add minutes? So again, lovely. Because the fact is that because we were talking about carbohydrates and grains are a major source of carbohydrates, it's important to do grain rotation, and that's something we have forgotten to do over the last couple of decades. Minutes become a very important part of this grain rotation. So including them in you either need to identify 3 or 4 millets that you feel you can eat, try them out, try the recipe. You'll end up with 2 that you like, not very easy to include all millets, I know. So even if you end up with 2 millets that you like, if you include them in your weekly diet, by term, no need to switch to millet-only diet. Really, again, you will be making the same mistake. It will be like, again, following one fad, which is a new thing which has come. But including them in our regular diet, I think is a wonderful idea.
I just quickly ask one important thing. So wheat, North Indians and everything, but it's more said as adding to inflammation or being very genetically modified now, DNAs and all. What do you have to say about that?
So inflammation is obviously directly related to mental health disorders as well.
Yeah, that's
So your brain is inflamed if you have a mental health disorder. For most people. Significantly, right? So yes, of course, the wheat that we're getting today is not the wheat which we used to get maybe even 3 decades back. But that is no reason to give up wheat unless you have a gluten intolerance. If you do not have a gluten intolerance, then there is no reason to completely give up wheat. Use it as part of your brain rotation thing. Because if you go by that logic, we'll have to stop breathing as well.
What's your say on the 5 whites? Milk and sugar and then paneer, what most people judge on. Paneer would not be in the junk or the fast food category, but every poor person or every rich, he's just going for the shahi paneers. And so what's your say on that for those whites?
So paneer white, certainly what is wrong, the whites that need to be removed are not these.
Okay.
Milk and paneer do not come in the whites that need to be removed.
All right.
Not at all.
So if you
Whites
can
that need to be removed or cut down, not removed. Nothing that needs to be removed is sugar. You refine the atta and your salt.
Okay.
That you need to cut down. Dairy is perfectly okay. I am very old school. Is for people who can handle dairy. No need to give it up if your body can handle it. Again, no need to have excess. you know.
True.
Eating shahi paneer is my bigger problem rather than paneer. You know, so if you're eating out shahi paneer, then you're eating out way more often than you should.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, we would close this session here. Thank you so much. That was extremely informative.